Hi everybody. So here I am Manik and once again from the channel Literature Study at Home, I welcome you from the core of my heart. Today we will discuss 50 most MCQs and this is the second set in the list of the unit drama. So from the drama unit we have provided with you 50 most important MCQs earlier. Right now we are also going to discuss 50 more MCQs from the unit drama 2. Okay, so first question, as you can see, it is a question from chronological order. Nowadays our exam pattern in SET or NET, they are focusing on chronological order too. So we have first arranged the following plays by their first performance or publication date. So we have first in the list is Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. So you know this play was written by Marlowe very earlier but was not published or performed until 1604. Then we have the Duchess of Malfi. This is also another instance of a very significant tragical play, and this was written by John Webster and it was published around 1613. Then we have The Merchant of Venice. This was a kind of milestone in the career of William Shakespeare. So this play was published or performed rather in 1605. And then we have The School for Scandal by R.B. Sheridan. It was a kind of a sentimental play, and if you go through the series, this is the play that was published later. So it will be the fourth option of our selective option that was given. So the first play which was performed earlier, that means among the four options, we have Dr. Faustus. It was the first one, 1604. Then we have the second in the list, and that is none other than obviously Merchant of Venice. It was published in 1605. Then we have Duchess of Malfi, that is 2. And then we have Duchess of Malfi in 1613, and then we have The School for Sheridan at the end, that is 1777. Okay, so your option A is the correct chronological order. Now, in which chronological order, once again, were these literary movements prominent? So, literary movement which is prominent, the first one here I have Romanticism. As you know, Romanticism is a movement that was found during the time period of 18th century, that means the later half of the 18th century, and it continued till 1850. So as far as I can see, it is the first, obviously. Romanticism, after Romanticism, there arrived realism, isn't it? Realism was a kind of a period like late 19th century, 1870, and it continued till 1950, 1960. So this kind of phase realism we occasionally found. Now then, the second, modernism. Modernism come later on, that is around 1901 and then 1930, 1940. These are the years which is come in the category of modernism. And at the end, postmodernism come, and it was around 1980s, 1970s. So the picture is very much clear. First is option A, that is Romanticism. Then we have 3, realism. Then we have 2, modernism, and at the end, postmodernism. Okay, now come to the question number 3. Arrange once again chronologically. At the first hand, we have an inspector calls, and this is a kind of famous one, inspector calls published in 1945 by J.B. Priestley. Then we have Arcadia. This Arcadia is a play. We have a text named Arcadia by Philip Sidney, but that was not a kind of play. It was a poetry. So this Arcadia was written by Tom Stoppard, published in 1993. And I think you have remembered Tom Stoppard's significant work, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. I discussed about this text in our last video on the first part of the 50 MCQs from drama unit. So here Arcadia is a play that was by Tom Stoppard. It was in 1993. Though in 1593 we have Arcadia by Philip Sidney, but that was not a kind of play. So here we will take Tom Stoppard's Arcadia, published in 1993. Then third one, The Government Inspector. The Government Inspector is a kind of Italian play by Nicolai Gogol. It was published in 1842. Then we have another play that was by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Six Characters in Search of an Author. It was published in 1921. So here picture is very much clear. So the first option is obviously The Government of Inspector by Nicolai Gogol. It was in 1842. Then we have Six Characters in Search of an Author, that was published in 1921. Then we have the next option, the second one, that is first one, An Inspector Calls, that was published in 1945. Then Arcadia, that was published in 1993. So here your first option, option A, is the correct answer. Okay, so you have first The Government Inspector by Nicolai Gogol, published in 1842. Then your fourth option, Six Characters in Search of an Author by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, published in 1921. Then we have An Inspector Calls in 1945. Then Arcadia by Tom Stoppard in 1993. So come to the question number 4. We have somehow a tick mark is there in question number 4. So please avoid it. Now question number 4 is identify the correct chronological order of Shakespeare's comedies listed below. So here Shakespeare comedy, first comedy is Much Ado About Nothing. So as you know, this is a play that was published or performed around 1600. Then Twelfth Night, it was around 1601. As You Like It was earlier, it is in 1597. But more than As You Like It, The Merchant of Venice published earlier. Merchant of Venice, it was published or rather performed in, I'm just omitting the word publishing because publication was done later, first performed. So Merchant of Venice was performed around 1596 and 97. So that's why we can say that The Merchant of Venice should come first. Okay, then Much Ado About Nothing, that was in 600. Okay, so you can put As You Like It first. Okay, As You Like It as the third option which is mentioned here. That's why option C will be the finest one, and then Much Ado About Nothing 1600 and Twelfth Night in 1601. So your option should go for option C. Just try to understand it. The Merchant of Venice, it will come 1596 to 97 first, and then your As You Like It in 1597, then your Much Ado About Nothing in 1600 and Twelfth Night in 1601. Okay, now come to question number 5. Once again we have another chronological order in terms of their most important major work. Just like J.B. Priestley is famous for his an inspector call, and it was around in 1945. Then we have Edward Albee. His play Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf is called the supreme work. So it will come around 1962. Then we have Christopher Marlowe and his Dr. Faustus is one of the greatest classics, and it will come around 1604. And then Nikolai Gogol and his The Overcoat may around come 1842. So that's why you can arrange these writers. Obviously your Christopher Marlowe will come at the first hand. So Christopher Marlowe is there at the third option, so 3 will be the first one, and then after Christopher Marlowe obviously Nikolai Gogol. So 3, 4 is mandatory. So here option A says that 3, 4, isn't it? And then J.B. Priestley number 1 come, and then Edward Albee, the fourth option, that is the second one, which will come at the end. Okay, so your option A is the correct answer. Now, the masked ball in Much Ado About Nothing symbolizes. So we have a ball or a party in Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. So what is it symbolize, or rather what does it symbolize? Okay, so your option is betrayal. Ball is a kind of a betrayal, is a kind of a deception, is a kind of love or identity. Obviously it is working as a deception. Okay, now come to question number 7. In 12th Night, what does Viola's disguise primarily signify? So as you know, Viola disguised as a man, and his name was, or her name was, as you know, Olivia. Is it Olivia? Obviously no. Orsino was the name of the Duke, and Viola disguised as Cesario, as I can remember, but I may be wrong. I can't actually recall. Probably, if you remember the right name, you can also put there. I think Cesario maybe the right, maybe the name Viola took disguise. Okay, so here this disguise, Viola's disguise, signify what? Primarily signify gender fluidity. Okay, so gender fluidity is the right answer. The forest of Arden in As You Like It, it symbolizes what? Rebellion, freedom and transformation. Obviously, freedom and transformation. Now, what does Shylock's bond in The Merchant of Venice symbolize? Obviously, Shylock's bond to take flesh from the body of Antonio is a kind of revenge and justice. So Shylock's bond is about revenge and justice. Question number 10. In Dr. Faustus, okay, the clock is a recurring symbol of. So the clock will tick after the 24 hours of freedom. So this clock is a recurring symbol for what? Is a symbol of time running out. My dear friends, do your work, otherwise time is fleeting. Okay, this is the thing it signifies. Now we have question number 11. Who says the line, if music be the food of love, play on? Who said this? Orsino, Viola, Olivia, Malvolio. Obviously it was the Duke who says that if music be the food of love, play on. Then we have question number 12. Who is the main villain? Who is the main villain in Much Ado About Nothing? So Much Ado About Nothing is another significant play that I already discussed. So who is the main villain in Much Ado About Nothing? Don John, Don Pedro, then we have Claudio, and option D, Benedict. It is Don John, not Don Pedro, is the villain. Okay, now come to question number 13. Which character in the Duchess of Malfi transitions from a spy to a guilt-ridden figure. So obviously, Duchess of Malfi is a prime example of tragedy. So here we have a spy. Okay, so we have found his transition to a guilt-ridden figure. Obviously, I think you can answer it easily. First, he took the part of the devils, that means took the part of the antagonist, and then he also go against them and then killed them too. So it was Boshola is the right answer. Now question number 14. In Inspector Calls, which character begins the play knave but Groot, what happened? Okay, this is not go there. Okay, so in Inspector Calls, which character begins the play knave but grows insightful? So at the beginning he was a knave, but later on he grows insightful. So who is it? It was Sally Burling. Sally Burling, not Sybil Burling. Keep remember this. Celia Burling. Now, next question. Which character represents a paradoxical combination of intellectual and emotional archetypes? So, which character represents a paradoxical combination of intellectual and emotional? It was Thomasin Coverley. Thomas Coverley. Now, which Shakespearean play contains the line, all the world is a stage, obviously as you like it? Now go to the next question. Which playwright introduced the idea of meta theater in Six Character in Search of an Author? Six Character in Search for an Author. Oh, sorry. So earlier I mentioned Six Character in Search for Author as what? I suggest Gabriel Garcia Marquez. No, it was Luigi Pirandello. So I apologize for that. Six Character in Search for Author by Luigi Pirandello. Okay. Now we have question number 18. An inspector calls. So here your answer is Luigi Pirandello. An inspector calls. So it was I can recall like that. It was a play named 100 Years of Solitude. That was a play by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So I am extremely sorry that I have mentioned wrongly. Kindly ignore it. Question number 18. An inspector calls is best described as. An inspector calls is best described as a social critique and morality play. Now, who is the creator of the puritanical character Malvolio? Malvolio is a character. So, who is the creator of this character? Obviously, it was William Shakespeare. Now, question number 20. The School for Scandal primarily critiques love and marriage, hypocrisy and gossip, greed, political systems. Obviously, hypocrisy and gossip. Now, who coined the term negative capability, referring to a poet's ability to accept uncertainty and ambiguity without the need for resolution? Who coined this term negative capability? This is an easy one. I think you can say John Keats. So in terms of unit drama, it is irrelevant, but as it is a technical term, so I have put it here. Now, the first performance, question number 22, of William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night's first performance was placed in January 6, 1601. Okay, so this is the right answer. Now come to question number 23. Which character is a melancholic philosopher in As You Like It delivers the famous speech, All the World is a Stage monologue. It is obviously Jax. Jax is the character who says that all the world is a stage in the monologue. Now, question number 24. In Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, which of the following is not a theme of the play? So, here we have plenty of wrong information. You need to correctly find out the right option. So, first one, option A says, the pursuit of knowledge is not a theme of the play. Obviously, it was the theme of knowledge. B. The power of repentance, অনুতাপের শক্তি, অনুতাপের শক্তি। নেক্সট, অবভিয়াসলি এখানে অনুতাপের কোনো প্রশ্নই ছিল না। দ্য ইনএভিটেবিলিটি অফ ফেট, ভাগ্যের কি বলতে পারি যে অমরত্বতা, তাই দেখানো হয়েছে নাকি? অবশ্যই রয়েছে দ্য কমপ্লেক্সিটিস অফ কলোনিয়ালিজম, কিন্তু এই যে ঔপনিবেশিকতার যে জটিলতা, এটা কিন্তু কখনো আমরা দেখতে পাবো না ডক্টর ফস্টাসের এই ক্রিস্টোফার মার্লোর ডক্টর ফস্টাসের। করেক্ট? নাও নেক্সট, হুইচ প্লে বাই জে.বি. প্রিস্টলি critiques class privilege and social responsibility through the investigation of a young woman's death? Which play by J.B. Priestley critiques class privilege and social responsibilities through the investigation of a young woman's death? So, J.B. Priestley, a single most important play, that is An Inspector Calls. Here we have class privilege and social responsibility through the investigation of a young woman's death. Then we have question number 26. John Webster's The Duchess of Malfi is set primarily in which of the following locations? So John Webster's The Duchess of Malfi, it is set in the town of Malfi. Now, what is the subtitle of Nikolai Gogol's play, The Government Inspector? So, what is the subtitle of Nikolai Gogol's play, The Government Inspector? It is Reservoir. Reservoir, that is the option. Reservoir is the subtitle of Government Inspector. Now we have question number 28. In Richard Sheridan's The School for Scandal, the character Lady Teazle represents none other than but social hypocrisy. Social hypocrisy. Option A. Now, which of the following works is set in Derbyshire and intertwines 19th century and contemporary narratives? So, which of the following works is set in Derbyshire and international 19th century contemporary narratives? It is none other than Arcadia by Tom Stoppard. So, this play, Arcadia, is set in Derbyshire and intertwines or twines 19th century and contemporary narratives. Now, question number 30. The title Edward Elby's play, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? It refers metaphysically to what? Okay, so it refers metaphorically, it refers fear of truth and reality. Fear of truth and reality. So, this is the, what can I say? That it refers metaphorically to clear of truth and reality. So, who is afraid of Virginia Woolf? This is an important one. Now, 31. The central conceit of Luigi Pirandello's 6 character in search of an author reflects on the concept of what? The central conceit of Luigi Pirandello's 6 characters in search for author. This is a kind of the autonomy of character is the right answer. Now, in the Duchess of Malfi, what is Boschola's role at the beginning of the play? So, he was a spy of Ferdinand and Cardinal. Which of the following plays by Shakespeare is not classified as comedy? Okay, so which of the following plays by Shakespeare is not classified as a comedy? So, যেটা comedy নয় actually. So, here we have the options like um, that is A Midsummer Night's Dream, okay, The Merchant of Venice, Macbeth, Much Ado About Nothing. Obviously, Macbeth is a play that is called tragedy, so that's why it is an different. It's a different work. Now, the quality of mercy is not strained. The quality of mercy is not strained. So, it's a famous line from Shakespeare's play. Which play? The quality of mercy is not strained. It is obviously The Merchant of Venice. Now, question number 35. Which literary work examines the effects of time, science, and romantic relationships in a sophisticated interplay of chaos and order? So, which literary work examines the effects of time, science, romantic relationships in a sophisticated interplay of chaos and order? So, it is obviously Tom Stuppart's Arcadia. So, this Arcadia is the correct answer and most important text. Okay, keep remember this. Who is the author of the line, "Hell is just a frame of mind" in Dr. Faustus? So, who is the author of the "Hell is just a frame of mind"? Okay, so here we have, it's a kind of, what can I say, character named the second to in the post, that is after Lucifer. It is Mephistopheles. So he is the speaker who says hell is just a frame of mind. So you can, in your truest sense right now can be, maybe can be, what can I say, what is I say actually? I can change or I can think differently. Probably I do not know what I actually saying. Now, question number 37. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. So, it is an example of what? All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. It is called extended metaphor. It is called extended metaphor. Which theme does J.B. Priestley primarily explore in an inspector clause? Inspector calls. Okay, so what kind of, which theme J.B. Priestley actually used in an inspector call? So it is none other than social responsibility. The term meta theater is most applicable অধিকভাবে ব্যবহারযোগ্য to which of these works? Meta theater. 6 characters in search for author. This is obviously it is the example of meta theater. So meta theater is what? A theater is about the writing of a theater, that is called meta theater. So here the term meta theater is most applicable to which of these works, and that is 6 characters in search of an author. Now question number 40. Which Shakespearean play, okay, which Shakespearean play centers on the conflict over a bond and includes the line, "The quality of mercy is strained"? So which Shakespearean play centers the conflict over a bond and thus bond and includes the line? So which of the play? It is obviously The Merchant of Venice. So there we have the bond. Okay, oh sorry, Merchant of Venice I mentioned, but I put tick mark on Much Ado About Nothing. This is the right answer, The Merchant of Venice. Question number 41. Who is the villain of Much Ado About Nothing, responsible for the false accusation against hero? Okay, and it is obviously, I have already discussed, Don John. Okay, 41 is done by John Dolce. Now come to question number 42. The subplot of mistaken identities in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night revolves around whom? The subplot of mistaken identities in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night revolves around option A says Viola and her disguise at Cesario. B. The resemblance between Viola and Sebastian. And then A and B both, and then D, the literary rivalry between Orsino and Antonio. So obviously it is your the first that is play. Mistaken identities is a kind of play where subplot 12th revolves around what? Obviously disguise at Cesaro, it is also there, and then resemblance between Viola and Sebastian. Now, question 43. Which Jacobean tragedy uses the motive of confinement, and darkness, okay, to emphasize themes? The motive of confinement and darkness to emphasize for which play says this about confinement and darkness? Okay, it is none other than the Duchess of Malfi. Okay, now the phrase truth or illusion, George, you don't know the difference, highlights the central conflict of which play? Now your option is Waiting for Godot. Option B, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And then we have A Doll's House, a look back in anger. So your option should be Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Okay, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Now come to the question of 45. The narrative structure of Arcadia shifts between 2 times period. There are what? So we have the Romantic era, okay, and contemporary times. Now question 46. In Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, the pound of flesh symbolizes what? It symbolizes justice and revenge. Which Shakespearean comedy features the Forest of Arden its central setting? It is As You Like It. The famous line, "We are such stuff as dreams are made on," so is from which of the play? The Merchant of Venice, The Tempest, the Hamlet, and then Midsummer Night's Dream. It is obviously he is talking about The Tempest. Now, question number 49. The inspector calls symbolize. So, what is it symbolize? Inspector calls symbolizes, and inspector symbolizes what? It is social conscience and justice. That should be the right answer. Now, the last question for today, 50th one. What literary device is central to Luigi Pirandello's 6-character In Search of Author? Obviously, it's a kind of meta fiction. So that's all for today. And once again, I will ask your apology for the question I discussed earlier about the play named 6-character In Search for Author, and that was not by him, rather it was by obviously Luigi Pirandello. So keep remember this. Okay, that's all for today. Hope it is beneficial for you. Let me share, let me understand what you have learned through your comments and through your suggestions. That's all. Thank you. Have a great day.